Hello, everybody. Welcome to a comic review of A Nightmare on Elm Street, The Beginning. If you guys like horror movies, if you guys like horror comics, I have a horror comic of my own down below in the description on Indiegogo. It's called Secret Comics Presents, and it's a horror comic written by me. I also have a few different horror books on Amazon down below, but enough shilling. We'll get right into the review here. So, A Nightmare on Elm Street, The Beginning is a two-issue miniseries. It was actually supposed to be 3 issues, but this company Innovation that I had never heard of until I got these, they went out of business before issue 3 could get drawn. If you watched my C2E2 recaps when I got these, I might have accidentally misspoke and called this a 6 issue series, but I had it mixed up with another miniseries Innovation did called Nightmares on Elm Street, which I want to pick up. I've been doing my research lately on Nightmare on Elm Street comics, and there's a bunch of them that I need to get. But anyway, so we'll get right into this comic review. And the first thing I want to say is I need to know the artist on the cover because I didn't see the cover artist credited anywhere here. And the biggest letdown for me in this book really is just how beautiful the covers are compared to the inside. Not that the inside is bad, but it's just like I was really hoping to get this kind of art on the inside. But it starts after Freddy's Dead, which it's been years since I've seen that one, so I need to rewatch it. But it starts here with his daughter Maggie, and she's having this dream about her father's glove. And then it turns into her wearing the glove, and that is her nightmare that she's had. And I guess the biggest problem I really just had with this book, like I warmed up to this story. I'd read this issue a week or two ago, and I wasn't that big on the story in this first issue here. And then I reread it, or well, more like re-skimmed it for this video before reading the second issue back there, which we'll also get to. And I guess the story I warmed up to it. It's all right, but it's mostly like this art is terrifying and it's unintentionally terrifying. Like look at this dude's face. That's just what I didn't like with some of this art's a little weird. I think it could have been better, but it it was a fun story. So Maggie, she's having these nightmares, and so we'll skip a few pages here. So she and Tracy go back to Springwood, where a lot of changes are happening. People are trying to forget about all the murders and stuff that happened. And this is a fun story because they end up going into this library and they're like tracking down old books. And they're, we'll skip a few more pages because you can't really show too many pages in these reviews. But and we'll skip a few more because this is where it gets cool. So they, all right. So they track down this old book, and then they're going through Elm Street, and they're at Freddy's old neighborhood, and they get to his old house, and Maggie starts to have these visions. Now, this is a part I didn't really like very much because it's like Freddy's talking about getting bullied, like talking about the kids that bully him at school, and then he's got this abusive dad, and the part to me is personally, I like the idea of somebody being evil just because they were born evil and not really just because they've had enough, which is basically what happened to Freddy in this issue. And so basically, she just sees Freddy killing his dad, and there's a few pages left, but I won't spoil it too much, even though I know that was like major spoilers in this book. I pretty much told you everything that happened, but then over here, it's another beautiful cover with issue 2. And again, if someone knows this cover artist, please let me know who they are because I want to see some more of their work. I want to frame these things because the covers are so beautiful. So I want some more covers from whoever is this cover artist, but I just don't see them credited anywhere in here. Now, think about Innovation that sort of made me laugh that they went out of business before the 3rd issue was just sort of like I think you could tell when you open up this one that they knew they were going out of business because they went from like this like glossy paper here in this one to newsprint, which I like newsprint. My new comic, which I shilled down below in the description on Indiegogo, is going to be on newsprint, but I just think it's funny like they went from like this nice paper to a newsprint, but that's probably beyond the point. So anyways, so it starts here with a little recap of the previous book, and it sort of goes a little bit more into Freddy's origin, but it's pretty similar to the pilot of the TV show, which I've only seen the pilot. I have a bootleg of the TV show, and I haven't really watched past the first episode, but it's basically just a bunch of like lost stuff for a while, which is okay, but it didn't really interest me because I think when it comes to like it was a technicality, like we get it, like you could really sum up the technicality part of his origin. You could just set that up and like really like it like half a page you could have told that story. So I think a few pages here were kind of useless. We'll skip around. Oh, this was a really cool shot right here. You see, I like this. I like the art in like this panel, but some of the other panels, people look like unintentionally creepy. But I like the way they make Freddy look creepy. I think that fits. But so then there's Maggie's just having all these visions, and the story really ramps up when they. Well, let me skip because I don't want to show too much here. It's actually a pretty long issue, but let's see. Well, okay, so here's some more flashbacks right here to his origin, and it's pretty similar to the show. And this is a really cool splash page here. And so they're back in the boiler room where Freddy died. And it ends with such a great cliffhanger on the next page. And I don't want to show, even though I've spoiled really this whole thing, the cliffhanger is really good. I mean, I'll spoil it in the comments if somebody wants me to. But so it's really cool because she's getting this flashback. It's a really cool flashback. I like this page right here. And what starts to happen is so incredibly cool and creepy, and it's a really awesome cliffhanger if there was an issue 3, but they went out of business. Here's a really cool back cover. I need to know who this artist is, but I don't see a signature anywhere. Actually, no, I think I do see one there, but I can't really read it. Right there. I don't know who that is, but like I said, they went out of business. And so the thing that bothers me is, all right, so I'm a business major, so whenever you go out of business, you like see it coming. So like you kind of prepare. So like you know what to do and not to do, like when you make cuts to different parts of your business. And I just can't imagine why they probably knew before issue 1 even came out that they were going out of business. And I just can't imagine why they were like, okay, so let's go ahead with 1, let's go ahead with 2, but then 3 can't happen because we're about to go out of business. Like I just couldn't imagine that. From what I found when I was doing my research about these comics specifically online, and when I was looking up about some of the other ones, some of the other Nightmare on Elm Street comics, what I could find was that at one point in time, the script for issue 3 was online somewhere on a website, but it has been taken down. So I don't know really how this concludes. But I mean, I guess it's kind of cool to speculate, but I just sort of wish that like we got the conclusion, because you could tell throughout both of these issues that it was building towards something very specific, something very interesting, and I just don't know. I just don't know what happens after that final page, because that script for issue 3, it's gone. It was online somewhere, and now it's gone. But anyways, guys, if you've read any Nightmare on Elm Street comics, let me know which ones you've read. If you've read any other adaptation comics recently, I reviewed the Thing from Another World 1 and 2, direct sequel to the Thing comics. I reviewed those, and now I've reviewed these, and I'm trying to get into some other horror adaptation comics. So if you've read any good Nightmare on Elm Street comics or any other good adaptation comics, let me know some recommends down in the comments. And like I said, I have my own comic, Secret Comics Presents, on Indiegogo. We've got about 49 or 50 days left, and we would like to have your guys' support on that. So that's down below in the description, as well as my books on Amazon, but my comic is the most important thing right now because that's only up for a limited time, versus on Amazon my regular books are up pretty much for forever. So if you could only get one thing, please just get my comic, check that out. And if you liked this video, if you want to see more videos like these, then please subscribe, ring that bell, and all that fun stuff. Sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought there for a second, but yeah, please, if you guys like this sort of video, then please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell, and have a fantastic day, everyone.